Alrighty, let's take a look at this question. You're asked to solve by using the square root principle. But you'll notice we don't really have one single x value squared. We have x squared and x. So that would require us to get it looking like something squared, which involves completing the square. So completing the square, very much like what we did in quadratic functions, we're going to first underline those two x's to remind us that the 2 is going to factor out of just those two terms. So whatever's in front of x squared gets factored out, regardless if it actually divides out nicely, which it doesn't in this case, out of 3x. So we would have to go bracket x squared and then plus, dividing by 2, we would end up with 3 over 2 and then x. Then you're going to leave a little room. The minus 4 can play on the outside by itself. And then we'll have an equals 0 way over here. All right, now we need to fill in the missing number that would be to complete the square. And to get that, we would take 3 over 2. We would want to divide that by 2. Now, when working with fractions, I'm going to write that then as multiplying by 1/2, which would give us 3/4. And then we have to square that to get the missing number, which would be square the 3, you get 9, square the 4 on the bottom, you get 16. So it'd be 9 over 16, and of course plus, because you squared it. Now, as soon as you added that, the whole equation got out of balance. So we're going to subtract 9 over 16 right away on the outside, which was being multiplied by that 2. So we've got to go brackets 2 like that. Alrighty, now one more step to get it in vertex form or completed square form. We write that trinomial as a perfect square binomial by square rooting the first term to get x, square root the last term, so square root 9, 3, square root 16, 4, and then same sign as the middle, so plus. And then we can put all this in the calculator or do it by hand. So let me see, -4 minus 9 over 8. I would suggest you put it in the calculator. So -32, and you should get minus 41 over 8, if I did that right. I think I did. 9 over 8. Yep, -32 minus 9 is going to be -41. Good. Okay, so we are now in the right form where we can isolate x, right, by using square root principle. So just step by step, we are going to peel stuff away from the left-hand side until x is all by itself. So first thing we'd want to do is add that 41 over 8 to the other side. Well, to both sides, but it would end up being positive on the right side. Like that. Then next thing we peel away is the multiplying by 2. We're basically reversing bed mass, so we get rid of adding and subtracting first, then multiplying. So divide both sides by 2. Lovely little fractions we're going to have. So 41 over 8 negative or positive divided by 2 means multiply by 1/2. So that is going to be 41 over 16. Lovely number. Okay, and then we are down to the square. So to get rid of a square, we square root both sides, hence the phrase square root principle. And when we square root both sides, we actually have to write plus or minus the root of 41 over 16. Now on the left side, the square root got rid of the square, so now we just have x plus 3/4. The reason why we have to have plus or minus is because if we were trying to solve something like, say, x squared equals 9, and you square rooted both sides, you'd say the answer would be x equals 3, which does make sense because when you square 3, you do get 9. However, if you square -3, you also get 9, hence why we need a plus or minus in front. All right, one more step and we're there. We're going to subtract 3/4 from both sides. So we would have -3/4 plus or minus. Now I'm going to simplify this root a bit. If you have the square root of a fraction, you can square root the top, 41, and square root the bottom, which actually works out nice to be 4. Square root of 16 is 4. Oh, and look at that. They're both over top of 4, so we could actually join them and put them all over top of 4. -3 plus or minus root 41 all over 4. Now 41, we'd want to check to see if we could write that as a mixed radical, but we can't. It's a prime number. So that would be your final two answers. One of them, x equals -3 plus root 41 over 4, and the other one, -3 minus root 41 over 4. And there we go. Alrighty, I hope that helped.